Good to go. Charlie Parsons, boxing social in association with William Hilton Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure and my first time in Belfast. Mr. Mick Conlon, thank you for having me. How are you, mate?
Oh, good, Charlie. What's happening, mate?
It's nice to be with you and Jamie here. Mate, what an occasion. I mean, when
We downgraded the Parsons from Matt.
Wow. Well, don't worry, Matt will be with you May 27.
I'm
gutted, man.
He'll be devastated. He's not here, so I had to give him a shout out. We're only joking. We've been upgraded, Charlie.
Yes, that's more like it. Look, this is special. Fighting at home for the world title against Lopez, who is a magnificent fighter in itself. Just firstly, when that phone call comes, I know you and Jamie very tight-knit between the two of you, but what a fight, and to land it at home as well, special.
And I know it took a while to get over the line. We've been in talks now since January, and I think the fight's been off once or twice. But now it's across the line, and I'm grateful to my brother for doing that. Obviously, he guides my career, and he does it fantastically. So, whenever we're here, we're fighting at home for a world title. Can't get much better. And I'm fighting a fantastic fighter in Luis Alberto Lopez, and one that I need to be on point for.
Done some special nights here for a world title. It's probably going to be a crowd better than ever. Just sort of how much will that motivate you and spur you on? There might be times where you have to dig down and there'll be your sort of other man in there with you.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Like there might be plenty of those times in this fight, there might be none. But it definitely has the potential to be a massive fight of the year type fight. I hope it's not. I hope to go in there just to go and put a performance on, but there is potential fireworks and clashes of styles can just go off in this.
Do you feel like a real pride in sort of a revival in Irish boxing as such? The week before, obviously, Katie Taylor takes on Chantel Cameron, two current undisputed fighters. I believe Jason Quigley's got a homecoming. Kurt Walker's fighting on a show in Galway. So much going on for you guys at the minute. A real good time, and I suppose real inspiration on the grassroots level as well. A lot of kids will be looking up to yourself and Katie and all these guys.
Yeah, well, that's why me and my brother kind of get into this side of boxing and the management and promotional side of boxing and doing our own shows and stuff, because we do want to bring Irish boxing back to the forefront of Irish sport, and we're run the show with Curtin Kieran in Galway in April, and that'll be our first show in the south of Ireland, and then obviously Katie coming back, Jason Quigley in Dublin, and there's some fantastic shows, and obviously me doing this show here in Belfast. It makes me feel proud, it makes me feel delighted to be a part of it, and honoured, because that's one of the things we set out to do was bring it back to where it is.
Mick, let me ask you about Warrington's fight with Lopez. I said up there, you're not really going to be able to take too much out of it because Josh Warrington fights are probably a polar opposite style to how you're going to fight. It was fairly close. The fight went the way sort of some people expected. Rough and sort of Josh does what he has to do. Obviously wasn't enough to get the win, but what do you assess of Lopez going into that? Do you take much from that?
No, he played the game in that fight, Obviously, Josh was always dangerous with his head, but Lopez, he made a meal out of it, and obviously I think he got points deducted, did he? So yeah, he played the game in terms of having to manipulate kind of the ref and stuff, and helping him a little bit, and helping how the fight kind of went, because Josh fights obviously very very rough and it's not really tactical, it's just getting in and trying to take your head off type, but it was a good fight. When it went to points, I watched it. Well, I didn't watch it. I had just fought. We were in the change room, and I says, "I heard points. Warrington's going to get it there, because I don't think he's going to." If it's a close fight in points, I thought Lopez was going to lose, but he got it. The right man won. I've only watched clips. I haven't really watched the full thing. I've seen Lopez crying about the headbutts and stuff, and then obviously getting rocked as well towards the end of the fight. But obviously started quite fast too, so. There's things you could take from it in terms of Lopez's performance, but not too much, because, as you said, we're polar opposites, me and Josh, and we don't fight the same.
I suppose also you'll give Lopez the respect due in this fight. He's 2 backyards back to back, this time defending his world title, last time challenging. Clearly a man who's afraid of no one.
Nah, he's not afraid of anybody. He's happy to come here to Belfast, and I'm honoured to have him here in Belfast, and I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere. During fight week and stuff, he'll be treated well. Belfast isn't a place where we're going to treat him like shit. He'll be treated really well, and he'll come away from Belfast with a newfound respect for Irish people. And obviously, once he loses to me, he'll have that respect too.
Mick, look, this time, second crack at the world title. Obviously, home fans behind you, but what do you feel is different this time? It's been sort of just over a year now, lots of time to regroup and sort of rebuild, but what was really a good performance in that loss.
Yeah.
What do you take out the last 12 months?
Experience, going through that 12-round battle, ferocious pace, the ups, the downs, everything in it, putting the foot in the gas when I didn't need to, all different little things, which I've definitely learned from. Having that experience of that kind of world championship type fight over that distance sets me up perfectly for this one.
I don't want to keep you for too long, but it's a division that's absolutely on fire. I think you said up on the stage that if they were still doing the World Boxing Super Series, what a fucking division to do it in. Let me ask you, Leigh Wood versus Mauricio Lara, looks like they may be penciling the rematch. It may clash with this show. Leigh Wood looked very good in there until the stoppage, but I think that's the thing with Lara, you can't count him out. He comes in with hands like dynamite, this incredible power. Do you think it will be different this time round?
I don't. I think it's probably too soon for Leigh to change it. Although he's winning comfortably, and in my opinion, the reason he lost, he just got too greedy. Can he stop himself from doing it? I don't know. He boxed brilliantly up until that point, and obviously he was hurt once or twice before it in one of the rounds, and I'm near sure Lara was on him big time, but if he was switched on and could do it for the 12 rounds against Lara, he could definitely win and win comfortably. But the guy loves a war too much, so I think that he's probably his own worst enemy in that sense.
I sat and I had the pleasure of chatting away with your brother Jamie for a couple of hours earlier, and we were just going through everyone in the division, and we were sort of both saying it doesn't matter who wins or loses, there's so many good fights. There's about 6 of you guys, you can all get in with each other. I suppose back on that Lara front, that needle with Warrington is something that's always going to be there. Spitgate, as people are referring to it. What did you make of all that?
It was mad disrespectful, but as I said in the interview yesterday, he's like a little Mexican cowboy who just doesn't care. In my opinion, spitting's one of the lowest things you can do, but different, and he's just does not care. It's not, he gives that fuck you attitude, and he's crazy. I half respect that he had the balls to do it.
It was mad carnage, wasn't it?
He's just after winning the world title, and you're going, this guy, there's screws loose. He just won a world title. Instead of celebrating, he's looking at Josh Warrington and going, fuck you, and spitting on him and stuff. So he's crazy, he's crazy, and I can't say it was a good thing to do. I don't think it is. I think it's a horrible thing to do. But at the same time, he's a ballsy little bastard.
Look, Mick, it's always a pleasure interviewing you. I don't get the pleasure of doing it much anymore. I just sort of rattle through and make as much as I can of my time with you. You don't want to look past this fight. No one wants to look past, especially a world title. But with all the names that are out there, I mean, you look at that rematch with Leigh Wood, which is, I'm sure, one that you'll want one day. Who wouldn't? You've got a chip on your shoulder, something to prove. Josh Warrington's in the mix. Lara, someone else, if he goes and wins again, that's a unification down the line. Is that another thing here? A win here puts you in the mix with all these unifications and just...
Listen, I think, people are saying, Lara, Wood, Warrington and stuff, but if I'm with Top Rank, I'm going, well, actually, there's Ramirez and Dogbo fighting for the WWE World title. I win this, I can unify world titles. That's another massive fight, either of those guys. It puts me in the window, and obviously I would love that rematch one day. Who knows, Leigh could have had that rematch right away and probably would have been a better decision than fighting Mauricio Lara and losing his title, and he probably would have got paid double his money. But for some reason that didn't happen, and who knows if the rematch will ever happen then, because maybe I say no to it at one stage once I become world champion, or maybe I just go, okay, let's do it, because it was a great fight. I have respect for Leigh. He's a very good fighter, very tough fighter, very ballsy fighter. prize balls are too big for him at times, and that's probably what showed in the Lara fight. Taking the Lara fight was a bit silly in my opinion, but was that him or was it his coach? I don't know. The Josh Warrington fight is always a fight which has intrigued me. Two massive fan bases, Ireland versus fucking Leeds.
Sort of why I brought it up, just because, okay, look, obviously on the top rank side of stuff, you know, you've got those fights, but I suppose in the UK and Ireland, there's so many great personalities and great selling fights. That's sort of where I was coming out with it.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, Lara, again, I believe my style is the style to beat Lara. Dangerous guy, hitchy, you know, you could be in trouble, but you know, I believe I have the kind of style to beat Lara. And then Warrington, you know, that's a fight I've always wanted. I've always kind of said, yep, no problem. Take it in a heartbeat. So yeah, it's massive clashes of states, of personalities, fan bases, everything like that. They're all very, very good, and you know, the division is very, very hot at the minute. And who knows? There could be a Super Series. I know that Eddie's obviously with DAZN. Kyle Soren's got dates with DAZN. You know,
Let's get it on, boys.
Top rank, everything we got. I'm happy to work. I'll go anywhere.
I'm sure everyone will come together and cooperate.
Listen, if the fighter wants it, I think promoters can make it happen. So if the fighters really want fights, they can happen, as long as the other promoters are in agreement. But you know, I believe if it was a Super Series, I think my name would be. I'd be one of the first down, put my name down for, because I would love that. You know. Again, what was the one Andre Ward and stuff for him? It wasn't Super Series, but it was like a Super Six. It was, wasn't it? And they all fought each other, like something like that.
Just anything to get everyone in with each other.
The Super Series obviously is knockout tournament, and then one person wins the end. If you had like the Super Six kind of thing, where it was like a big round robin type tournament where everybody fought each other, and whoever had the most wins or points at the end wins it.
No wonder these clever boys are in promotion.
I mean, so like that would be fantastic.
Mick, finally from me on the world of boxing. I don't know if you've been able to catch up with it. I know you're a busy man, you're in camp, but we saw Simon Jordan and Eddie Hearn had a showdown. People asking for it for a long, long time. Two people that like the sound of their own voice. I'm sure they won't have mind admitting that themselves. What did you make of it all?
See, I haven't really watched it, but I was just checking who won, and the majority of people think Eddie won. And it's good to see, because I've seen some of the stuff Simon Jordan says at times, and you're going, you're crazy. But I haven't really paid too much attention. I just wanted to see who won the back and forth.
Fury Usyk, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
That's annoying, and it kind of half turned you off Tyson at times, because like he's like all this talking and stuff, just make it happen. You know, you can make it happen, and like if you want like a 70-30, you know, and he agrees, and then he wants 70-30 in the rematch, you're saying no, he can't. Like, come on, man. If he wins, it should be 70-30 as well. But you could even bring it to 60-40. I think Herm was saying yesterday, and he thinks it would happen. If they done that, I think it would be great. But there must be a reason Tyson doesn't want to fight him. I think Tyson wins, and I'm a massive Usyk fan. I called Usyk Joshua back in 2017. Tweets to prove it. So yeah, listen, I've always been a massive Usyk fan, and I still think Fury beats him, but there must be something about him that scares Fury.
Look, Nick, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Matt will be back in his adopted home of Belfast, but you haven't minded me having...
No, Johnny, you're good, mate. You're good. When was the first one we done? Was it not? First day?
Oh, I was at the announce presser, and you were lovely. You come up to me, oh, Mick. That's why I was gutted that Matt took over the honorary boy, but I get it.
Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. You're all good.
Mick Conlon, thank you for speaking to us at Boxing So.